So you decide to join the Army and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, man, there's so many things, so many paths for me to take in the military. Do I want to do the military, join the military before or after college? Do I want to do ROTC? Do I want to become an officer, right? What path do I want to take to become an officer? Do I want to stay in as an enlisted soldier and then maybe do OCS? What kind of path should I take? What MOS should I pick? There's all these questions that might be going through you guys' mind right now. So today I'm going to talk about some things that might help you narrow down your decision. So every now and then there will be some kind of like random little trend of questions that I get on social media, whether it's Instagram or Snapchat, just all together. Sometimes people will ask me questions and it just seems like there's a whole bunch of people asking the same thing. And this is one of those situations where there's a lot of you guys asking me what to do. You're asking me for my opinion on what you should do and what path you should take in the military. Whether that's picking the MOS that's right for you, whether that's should you stay enlisted or should you go an officer, whether that's should you join, probably the most common question is should you join the military before or after college, which I've talked about that before. And I've talked about whether or not you should join right after high school. But in this video, I want to talk about some things that have helped me make decisions in my life and hopefully will help some of you guys kind of narrow down the decision, narrow down the path that you want to take in the military. In this video, this is definitely not going to be me just kind of laying out all the different paths in the military and pros and cons and everything, because that video wouldn't even be a couple hours. That would just be a very, very long video. And what I do want to tell you guys is pretty much no matter what job you pick, no matter what path you take in the military, whether you want to be enlisted, whether you want to be an officer, there's really not going to be any way, shape, or form that you're going to know for 100% certainty that this is the most best. This is the optimal path for you. This is going to be the thing that you're going to be the most happy doing in the military, right? You're not going to be able to know that because it's the military. You're not in the military yet. It's a different world. It's a different experience. So you're really not going to know for sure whether or not something is going to be the best path for you until after the fact. Now, after the fact, I do want to say that at the same time, even though you don't know what's going to be the best path for you, life is long. You're going to be able to make mistakes. You're going to be able to possibly maybe pick an MOS that you didn't really like all that much, and then you can switch at a later date. Or you could pick Army Reserves, and then you can switch to active duty. Or you can pick active duty, and then after your first contract is up, you could switch to Army Reserves or the National Guard. So there's different things that you can do. And it's not going to be the end of the world if you pick the wrong thing. No matter what you do in life, there's always going to be a time when you look back and you're like, oh, I wish I would have done this differently. Oh, I wish I would have done this differently. And that's with no exception when it comes to the military. If you ask anybody in the military, I've made a video on some things that I wish I would have done differently when I joined. So everybody makes decisions in life and everybody just would like to go back and maybe tweak a few little things, maybe not change huge big decisions, because of course I'm super happy I joined the military, but maybe there was one thing I could have done whenever I was talking to my recruiter that I didn't know about that I would have done differently. So keep that in mind. You're not going to make, the 100% just best decision ever. You're just going to have to look at your options, look at the pros and cons, and figure out what option is going to be best for you. So speaking of pros and cons, this is one of the things that I like to tell you guys whenever you ask me, what MOS should I pick? Should I go officer? Should I go enlisted? Should I go into the military before or after college, right? This is a thing that you guys ask me a lot. And what I generally reply to you guys is I can't answer that for you because I don't know you guys personally, and it's hard enough for like a family member or somebody who knows you really well to give you really good advice on this. So my best advice to you is some things that I use that basically helps me make decisions on big decisions in life. And joining the military is probably going to be the biggest decision of your life up to this point. Now, other big decisions would be like getting married. So if you've found your spouse and you want to get married to that person, that's going to be a huge decision. But joining the military is just huge. It is a life-changing decision. It's a life-changing experience. So you want to be really careful with what you do. And one of the ways that you can do this and help to make sure you picking the best job or the best path is literally just like writing out pros and cons. So if you're trying to figure out what MOS you want to have, pick from 3 different MOSs that you're probably fighting back and forth on. Literally write out the pros and cons for each of these MOSs. Like, I don't know, maybe some of the duty stations that these MOSs can go to, because if you didn't know, not every MOS can go everywhere. And there are some MOSs that can go more places than others. So maybe that's a pro and that's a con. Maybe the length of the AIT could be an issue for you, so that could be a con. Maybe it's too long. Maybe there's some other thing, right? So maybe how well the job that you're wanting to get in the military, how well does that convert into civilian life? So if you're wanting to be a truck driver in the Army, or you want to be a truck driver like once you get out of the military, and I know AI and all this stuff is crazy, but looking at the job in the military, are there any kind of pros that could help you whenever it comes to civilian life? Are you looking to retire in the military? So are you looking to go 20 plus years and get out? Because that's something else that you got to consider. When it comes to doing the military before or after college, again, same thing. Pros and cons. What kind of college experience do you want to have? Now, they are basically the same. So if you just want to do your 3 or 4 years in the military and get out and go to college, the college experience from an 18-year-old to a 22-year-old is really pretty much the same. It's probably even better at 22 because if you're really trying to like live it up in college, you're 22. So there's a lot more freedoms that you can have when you're in college. So when it comes to that, but if you're looking at maybe doing college when you're 30 years old, that's going to be a little bit of a different experience. So you're going to have to weigh out the pros and cons. What kind of college experience do you want to have? What kind of freedoms do you want to do? What kind of things do you want to experience in your younger 20s? Because I've talked about that before. Yes, there's a ton of pros when it comes to the military, but you are going to be giving up a portion of your life. So that's a con, right? Now that you've hopefully written out the pros and the cons for some of the different paths that you want to take in the military, and I mean literally written out pros and cons, and after you see it on paper, that should maybe help you a little bit in making your decision. But after you've done that, what should you do now? Well, number one, you can go and talk to a recruiter. But other than that, on Facebook and maybe family members or whatever, if you want to send me a message on Instagram or Snapchat, reach out to people that you know that are in the military, that were in the military, maybe even people that have the same MOS that you want to have in the military, or you see somebody else, maybe an uncle or something, and they took the same path in the military that you want to take. Talk to them, get some advice from them. What are some of the things that they wish they would have done differently? What are some things that they didn't know whenever they joined that they ended up figuring out? So talk to these people who are in the military and just try to get the best understanding of what you want to do whenever it comes to their advice. Now, if you talk to me, I'll give you guys some advice, but it's very difficult for me to, basically give like super personal advice because I don't know you guys personally. And sometimes you guys will give me some kind of like a backstory that helps me out a lot, which I do appreciate. And one big thing that I want to tell you guys is don't be scared to talk to a recruiter. A lot of people are scared to talk to recruiters because they think they're going to like lie to you a whole bunch. They're just going to like suck you in. They're going to make you do things that you don't want to do. And that could be partially true depending on what kind of situation you're in. If you go and talk to a recruiter and you don't let them know, hey, I am only here to talk to you to answer questions. I am not interested in signing up for anything right now. I'm not interested in getting any paperwork done right now. They might try to be like, hey, let's just take the ASVAB, whatever. That's totally fine. If you want to go to a recruiter just to take an ASVAB, just to see what options are available for you in the military, that's totally fine. But you don't have to sign any paperwork or do anything like that when you go and talk to a recruiter. So a recruiter is a great source of information, especially if you get a really good recruiter. They're a great source of information because some of you guys will talk to me and be like, hey, I'm scared to talk to a recruiter because they might lie to me or whatever, and you want to get all your facts straight before you go and talk to a recruiter, which is a good idea. But at the same time, don't be scared to just call up a recruiter's office. Just, hey, set an appointment to go and talk with them and just let them know, hey, I just want to talk to you, get some information. I'm not really sure what I want to do, and talk to them. Maybe you talk to this recruiter. Maybe there's another recruiter that you weren't talking to previously, and he's in the same office, and maybe he has the MOS that you wanted to have. So talk to that guy. So do not be scared. Bottom line, do not be scared to go and talk to a recruiter. Just let them know up front, hey, I want to do this or I don't want to do this. And don't let them kind of try and talk you into certain things that you don't want to do. Because I'm telling you, if you do go and talk to a recruiter and you tell them that you don't really know what you want to do, or you don't know if you want to join the military right now, they are going to kind of try and nudge you into joining the military right now, or give you some reasons why it is a much better idea to join right now than join later. And keep in mind, life is long, right? So if you join the military this month or in a couple of months, it's not going to make that big of a difference, right? So go and talk to them. I hope I helped some of you guys kind of narrow some things down, or at least give you an idea of what you should do now. After watching this video, if you kind of have a general idea of some things that you want to do, but you're having trouble deciding what to do, maybe which branch of the military do you want to pick? Do you want to do Army? Do you want to do Marines? Whatever the decision, I hope I did help you guys out. And if I did, hit that like button. That would be awesome. One of the reasons that I do these videos, if you guys didn't know, is to help you guys out with this hard time, this difficult time in your life, and help you make better, more informed decisions. That's one of the reasons why I started making these videos, to help you guys out and know what it's like, know what to expect. So I do hope that this video did that for some of you guys. If you want to stick around for some more of my videos, you can hit the subscribe button. That would be awesome. And if you're not following me on social media, the links are right here. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.